In today's Insider, we are getting the inside scoop on the Knicks from our Knicks insider, Stefan Bondy, who, of course, covers the team on a daily basis for the Daily News. You talked to Kristaps Porzingis about how he feels better about this team's direction, much like the fans, than he did with past squads. What is he seeing that's so encouraging to him?
Well, there's finally a semblance of a direction. No
triangle.
No triangle.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. And, when you talk about the defensive side of the ball, that's important. What they did last year was they changed it up every game to suit the opponent. This time, they're sticking with the same scheme, and it's working out. The players appreciate that better, and there's not the confusion that you had last season. And just overall, you mentioned the triangle. It feels like they're progressing towards something. Last year, it just felt like a downward spiral. So that there's stuff to be encouraged about, and that's what Kristaps was talking about.
The teamwork that you see on the court, both offensively and defensively, is certainly evident. Let's talk about, and here's the one thing with Porzingis: can he hold up? How severe is this elbow injury?
Well, this is something that's been going on for a while. I first noticed it last season in Dallas, and he spoke about it. And what happens is when he bangs it, like he did the other night,
when Dwight Howard
threw him over, he banged the elbow on the court. It starts to swell, and it becomes about the size of a golf ball. Now he's been able to manage through it so far, and it hasn't been a problem, and I don't think it will be a problem. But he said, at some point after the season, I'm going to have to get and take care of, meaning drained or whatever it is that he would do, like a little procedure.
You think he'll hold up better this year than he has in the past?
It's a good question. I mean, he went through a hard training regimen to get stronger, and it's, he's made it a point to rest. And that was really what last night was about. It wasn't about the elbow or the ankle. It was about, this is the second night of back-to-back. I want to preserve myself for the rest of the season. So he has a plan, but one awkward landing could change everything. It's tough to predict injuries.
All right, let's talk about Frank Ntilikina. Now, obviously, they're bringing him along very slowly. That's the correct thing to do. But he is showing skills that, quite frankly, Ramon Sessions, Jarrett Jack don't exactly have. So should they speed up how quickly they're bringing him along?
No, I like what they're doing with him because although he's not starting, he's playing at the end of games. If you look at the fourth quarter, he's the one on the court. And he already is the best point guard on the Knicks roster. Now, Jarrett Jack has done a good job setting the table, but Frank has been the finisher. And the one thing he needs to work on is his confidence in learning how to score, because he has the defense, all right? You can see that he can be a lockdown defender. He's setting up his teammates well. The assist numbers are pretty good. If he can get that confidence in the jump shot and to drive to the hoop and score, that would be the next step in his progression.
It certainly would open things up a great deal for him. Let's talk about our dear departed friend Carmelo. Is it obvious already? We all knew it was addition by subtraction. But did the Knicks actually win this trade with the fact that Enes Kanter's playing so well, Dougie McBucket's coming through?
Dougie McBucket.
Did they actually win this?
Come on, it's too early.
Well, I know. Well, are you telling me that I shouldn't overreact?
Yeah, you're overreacting. No.
Get me out of a job here.
But yeah, I mean, so far it looks good. And you mentioned Enes Kanter. One thing I like about him is he's not a good defender, but at least he's trying. And sometimes that's half the battle. And, he hasn't been as much a negative on that side of the court that I thought. Well, here's one thing to monitor as this, you assess this trade moving forward, is what does it do for Billy Hernangomez's confidence? Bringing in Enes Kanter kind of made him redundant. He actually got in the game last night, and in the locker room, he was talking about, he got to the foul line. He was talking about, he got to the foul line. He was nervous because he hadn't done it in so long. His knees were shaking. He missed both of those foul shots. So what are you doing to this kid's confidence? That's something that you got to monitor moving forward.
Certainly supposed to be a building block for the future. You talk about redundance. How about Joakim Noah coming back? What do they do with this roster when he comes back next week?
So they need to create a roster spot in order to accommodate him. And the only guy on a non-guaranteed deal that they have now is Jarrett Jack, and he's the starting point guard. You're not going to let go of him. So either they're going to figure out a trade, that would be the preference, figure out a trade where you bring something back like a draft pick, because you can't bring back another player, or you waive somebody on a guaranteed deal. And the three guys who would be the top candidates for that would be Ramon Sessions, Mindagas Kuzminskis, and Michael Beasley.
And there's been reports that Kuz's agent is talking to people and whatnot.
Well, yeah, they've shopped around, him as well as the other players I mentioned. They're looking for somebody to take these guys. The question is, will somebody take him and give something back?
Interesting. Something for all of us to keep an eye on without question. Steph, thanks for the information. We always appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Steph Bondy, everybody.